Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this video. It's me, Peter, again. I really want to thank you for the love shown on my last video. That really helps, and I hope that the video helps you also. Today, we're going to be going back to the Lab with Peter series, where we're going to deploy our first domain controller using the Hyper-V manager. So we're going to have a virtual machine inside a virtual machine. And we're going to start with the DC one. You create new, and you specify the name. You choose generation 2, and you give it assign a memory. I always like to assign 2048 more if you have for a domain controller. And you assign the switch that we created in the first video. You click on next, and I normally do, if you have a lot of space, I normally do 80 gig for my virtual disk. The same way, you pull up your image, and in this case, I'm going to use Windows Server 2022 for all my labs. And then you click finish, you create. Now, all you have to do is to connect and start the domain controller process. So just like you see me doing it in the video. If you do have any question, please do not hesitate to reach out to me by commenting below on this video, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and we can connect. So after you set it up, you are going to choose your language. You click on next, install. It's the same process. Once you master this, it's going to be easy peasy for you. All right. So what you're doing right now is that you're setting up. I don't have a key for this product. So I'm going to say I don't have a product key. I'm always going to select the desktop experience for data center, and I'm gonna click on next. So you have to make sure you always read the license agreement. You accept, you click on next. So you choose custom, and then you select your hard drive, and then click on next again. So I fast forward the process right here so that you don't have to wait, but the process doesn't take that long, maybe 5 to 6 minutes, the max, depends on the resources that you're using. So you don't have to wait a lot just watching the installation via the video, but you're gonna have the same experience. So the virtual machine is going to restart right now, so we have to wait. So now the machine is up. I'm going to punch in my super secret password. So I hope you do the same. Make sure you don't forget this password, because if not, you're going to do it again. So now that our domain controller is coming up, it's going to be ready for setup in some minutes, and then we can take it from there. Let me punch in my password real quick. Right, everything is getting ready right now. Let's see how it goes. Right, you might have the same experience. Depends on the amount of memory you actually assign to the Hyper-V virtual machine, or the resources that you are using. Now you can see that immediately we have internet, just like the experience we had the last time that we deploy our nested virtualization machine in the first video. Now what I'm doing here is that I wanted to see what IP addresses attached to this machine. Why? Because it's going to be a domain controller, and I want to make sure that I have a static IP address. I don't want dynamic. I don't want it to change. So all I do is just ipconfig all for me to say, okay, the IPv4 address assigned and also my DNS. Now I'm going to go to network and internet settings, where I need to change the network sharing, and click on internet and properties. Then I'll select internet protocol version. Then we'll punch in the information that I saw on the command prompt, so which is going to be 192.168.0.101. So the subnet mask is always going to be the same, and the default gateway is the one that we specify in our first video, so which is 192.168.0.1. So the DNS server in this case is going to be the DNS server we have in the command prompt. This is going to change by the time we deploy our second domain controller, because our DNS server in that area is going to be the IP address of the first domain controller. So if everything is set up correctly, you see that it lost internet connection right there, and the internet actually came back within a few seconds. So I'm going to close everything right now, and getting ready for to deploy the domain controller. So what I'm doing right here, I'm going to change the domain controller name. You can actually change it to anything that you like. I'm going to choose DC1. So it's asking me to restart the VM, which I'm going to do. So now we're gonna wait for the VM to come back up. All right. Now we're going to begin the process of making this machine to become our first domain controller. Okay, now that it is back, now we can see that the machine has been renamed to DC1. I'm going to go and add a role right now. I have to click on Manage, Add Roles and Features, and it's very slow. Next, sorry, my voice is kind of different this morning. Next, I'm going to choose a role-based or feature-based installation. I'm going to click on Next. Next. In your case, it's going to be the same if you follow this. What we wanted to choose is Active Directory Domain Services. Make sure that you highlight that and add features. In this case, nothing more to add. Next. Next. Alright, everything is going to be next, and if you wanted to check the restart destination server is okay. In this case, I don't want to do that. I just click on next, and it might take a while for this. in my experience, it doesn't take more than maybe 1 to 2 minutes. It all depends on your server resources that you have. And I might fast forward this for you a little bit, but it doesn't take very much. You can just go get a tea or coffee and you can come back. I can guarantee you that before you go get a coffee and go get some tea, everything is going to be done before you arrive. So I'll be right back. Alright, it looks like it's complete. Now we're going to click on promote this server to a domain controller. Now, since this is going to be our first domain controller, we're now going to use the first one. We're going to use add a new forest. So here we're going to define the name of our lab. So in this case, I'm going to name it devlab.local. Oops, look like I make a mistake. All right, no problem. If you did the same mistake like me and just wait a little bit, you'll be able to go back. Okay, I'm just going to go back right now and correct the name. So right now I changed my mind and I'm going to put devlab.local. Now let's continue. Okay, what am I doing here? No, I changed my mind. Okay, devlab.local, next. Alright, so here we need to punch a password, and please do not forget the password that you actually specify in this column. If you do, that is the end of the domain controller. So always make sure that you remember. So you click on next and next. Yes, we're gonna click on next again and next again and next and next. It looks like I haven't been communicating for a while, so I'm having difficulties in pronouncing next. Okay, next. Okay, looks like I got it. Next. All right, looks like we're doing well here, and we keep clicking on next. But while you're doing the next thing, I will always recommend to always pay attention. Take some time, take your time, read the information, not to understand but to get familiar with. Maybe it's going to be your first time and you are not familiar with those information that Microsoft provided on the Windows Server. I would recommend you to take a time to read more about Windows Server. In this video, I'm going to provide you with a Microsoft article about Windows Server 2022. Most of them are identical. The only thing that most of the time is the features are different. So if you have some time, you can I'll recommend you to, read something about Windows Server, and that is the only way you can learn about these products. So while we are waiting, sometimes these take a while, and for me, I think it takes like maybe 1 to 3 minutes. Like I mentioned, it's always going to depend on the resources you allocate for your server. So in my case, it looks like it's taking a while, and I just have to wait. All right, it's done. So you see, it's going to restart by itself, and our domain controller seems to be ready. All right, let's wait for the server to come back. All right, it looks like we're still gonna wait a little bit, but to be honest, what I normally advise people to do is that, get your hand on stuff that you don't understand. Like, that is the reason why we are creating this lab. We wanted to make sure that we test things out. I cannot tell you how many times I've actually deployed this lab, maybe 50 times. So I do that for my own education. So I actually deploy it and delete it, and deploy it again and get rid of it, deploy it again, and that's how I learned. So once you're able to pull up this lab, you'll be able to test like Windows Server 2019, 2016, 2012, 2022, and you play around with older versions of Windows just to see. If you don't like it anymore, then you still have the chance to delete it from your environment. Just like I deleted the PC01 that I made in my first video. So that's how we learn. So if you are following along with me, you might want to forward. If you're not doing the lab, you might want to fast forward this video to where everything actually comes back, or you might stay and enjoy the music with me in video. Now it's back. Let me now sign in. Now you see that it's different right now. It's showing DevLab Administrator, and I have to punch in my password. All right, it seems our domain controller is up and running. Awesome. Good job if you're following this tutorial. If you're actually deploying your own lab with me, good job. If you are going to deploy it later, please do not hesitate to write me if you are facing some difficulties in deploying this lab. As we can see, the computer name is DC01, and we have the domain name, which is devlab.local. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to Tools, going to navigate to Active Directory Users and Computer, and create myself a user. So to make it easy, what I'm going to do here is to navigate to the user and copy the administrator properties. Instead of me trying to create my own user and give the same admin right, you see that there's an admin that was actually pre-built when we are deploying this domain controller. I just copy it and I'm going to fill it out with my credentials and punch in my password, and this user is ready to become an admin. And the new admin is going to be Peter. So, next. And done. So with this user, I can actually log into this domain controller easy. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to sign out. And I'm going to log in with my own credential. So let's see if that is going to work. Oops. And yes, look like it's working right now. And everything working fine. You made it. I really thank you so much for the time that you spent on this video. If you have any question, please put that in the comment section, and you can like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can share with your friends, and you can always reach out to me if you have any question, and I'll be very glad to assist. With that being said, now we have our first domain controller. In our second video, I'll be doing the same thing and adding a second domain controller, while I also going to have my PC. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to have you here on this video, and let's keep practicing. This year is going to be, well, before the end of this year, I promise to keep showing you everything that I'm doing on my study. So we're going to start studying, and we're going to start practicing what we are studying. So that is how we're going to learn together. Thank you so much. Keep enjoying the rest of the day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.